Big Larry in the building. What's up, Big Larry?
Man, how you feeling, man? It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to do what I got to do, brother. I'm trying to make some things happen for next year, and I'm juggling like 20 different things, so it's hard to get up here, but I'm back for a little bit.
Right. I've been following the progress online, so I see you here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, man. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the way I do this show, I never tell Larry what we're gonna do because I don't want him.
He really doesn't. I have no idea what we're talking about.
I don't. I normally tell everybody else. I do, but I don't tell Larry because I just want his raw. I want to hear what first comes to his mind, and then if it's crazy enough, we debate it out. So you all that been following us forever, you know how this goes. But Larry, let me give you the first subject we're going to cover. Now I know, Larry, you're not big into sports, but I do know that because of how much you love your African American people, you follow those that support our people. And one of those sports figures was Shannon Sharpe. And he was on a big morning sports show called Undisputed, and he has gone. And a lot of us want to know what's his future going to be. So, Larry, for your entertainment pleasures, my brother, I have a little update on what's going to happen to my main man, Shannon Sharpe. And I'm going to play the video for you. Let's take a look, and then we'll break it down. Here we go.
Guys, first we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe. As you know, he had the tweet the other day saying he'll return to morning television soon. Well, we got a little bit more insight on who he's in negotiations with. It says that Shannon Sharpe is talking with FanDuel right now, who, recently just lost Pat McAfee, and he was pocketing $30 million over there at FanDuel. So they would love to make a big splash with someone like Shannon Sharpe losing the talent like Pat McAfee back to ESPN. So, yeah, they would love to add him. Also, keep your eyes open for DraftKings because they wouldn't want to see Shannon Sharpe go to their competitor. You know what I'm saying? So they have that going on too. But Shannon Sharpe is in negotiations with FanDuel. It would make sense for him and them. And the source says that he doesn't want to miss football season. It's his bread and butter, the thing that he's most knowledgeable about. So he doesn't want to go through that season. You don't want to lose your steam. Like, he's the hottest commodity, or will be the hottest acquisition for whoever acquires him, you know what I'm saying, gets him on a contract. He would be the hottest person to grab right now. He don't want to see that go down. And
wow. So Big Larry, let me throw the alley-oop to you first and foremost. They're speculating that he left Undisputed because, number one, his co-host Skip had all creative control of what go on the show. Okay, he had all that. Then Skip would randomly disrespect this man because Skip is a Tom Brady fanboy. Mind you, Shannon is a LeBron fanboy because of a lot of what LeBron does off the court. But they would go at it, and then it came to a head one episode when basically Skip told the man, "Put your damn glasses back on," when they got into an argument about Shannon Sharpe being jealous of Tom Brady. And so Shannon Sharpe renegotiated his deal and said, "Look, I'm out of here, man," because they do polls, and Shannon Sharpe was like so hot on the show because of his charisma.
Right.
Now, Larry, that he's gone. And let me just tell you guys this. One of the line producers that does Shannon Sharpe podcast also did a film that I executive produced. So I might get some access to him. So you guys stay on the lookout for that. But Larry, he has a chance to go to FanDuel or DraftKings, replace Pat McAfee, and make $100 million. So my question to you, Larry, was this a good move for Team Shannon Sharpe?
Yeah, I feel like when you have someone like Shannon Sharpe and as big as he is, and I'm sure, I don't know what agency he's with, but I'm sure it's a big one. I'm sure, I would be
Yeah.
surprised if he's not with CAA or something. They made a power move. It wasn't just like something where they were saying, okay, well, dude's angry, doesn't like his co-host. It was a calculated move. They probably had deals that were in negotiation prior to him leaving, so that once he left, he knew where he had a couple of options, one or two, and he's going to make his choice soon if he hasn't already made it and announce it and make a big splash somewhere. So, and part of this thing is now you have these other entities that are coming up, like you said, like DraftKings and FanDuel, these gaming sites that are getting into, to other areas. They're really starting to get into media and such. I mean, if you go down here to the National Stadium in DC, right next door is the MGM, what is it? MGM gaming, whatever you call it. So they have a ton of money to throw at stuff.
The casino, they got that big ass casino.
Well, they have the casino up there, but right next to the stadium is like their betting, like their gaming thing, their sports book. That's what the MGM sports book is, right next to the
in Washington.
Yeah, right next to National Stadium. But that's the thing. They have these gaming entities have all kinds of money to throw at people.
All kinds. Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be one of those things where you're gonna find some people watching Shannon Sharpe do what he did, and there's probably gonna be some other people leaving. They're gonna be like, you know what? I'm not the happiest here, and I can go somewhere else and make, twice as much as what I'm making right now, and have better working conditions, more creative control, just a happier work environment. And I think I'd be surprised if you didn't see some other folks leaving. You might see some ladies leaving ESPN who've complained about their situation. I wouldn't be surprised.
In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say I'm happy for Shannon Sharpe, and I think FS1 just made a big mistake. I get that you brought Skip on to be you took a risk. I get that. But as Shannon Sharpe would always say, you got to update your resume. And Shannon Sharpe brought so much charisma to the show, it made people like me stick with the show, and that's not to say I didn't like Skip. He was okay. But a subscriber made me aware of just kind of how condescending and crazy Skip can be on the low. And I started taking notice of that, but I hung in there for Shannon Sharpe. And you just made a big mistake, FS1, because Shannon Sharpe is going to no longer need a network to supplant and pay him. Because I can tell you right now, Larry, they are going to let Shannon Sharpe have creative control, because the beta test for him is his Club Shay Shay podcast, where he's having Steve Harvey and Candy Burris and all kinds of Black celebrities come on the show with him. Imagine if he's allowed to do this on whatever contract that he signs with FanDuel or the other one, where he can bring in other ex-NFL players to his podcast or his show, and he can set the narrative. Larry, FS1, you just blew it. You blew it. If I were you, I would get on the phone right now, pay that man whatever he wants, and tell him he has creative control. Fuck a damn Skip.
And that's the interesting thing nowadays with the way the industry is in a sense, where you have the internet with podcast and YouTube and various other platforms. It used to be that these celebrities, these ball players or actors and actresses, they needed the networks, they needed the studios, they needed the leagues, they needed everybody to accept them so that they can make their money. Now, once these people have a fan base, once they become a known commodity, they can go do their own thing.
Anything.
They can go do it seems to me like everybody and their grandmother as a celebrity now wants their own podcast. Why? Because you could get out there and go directly to your audience. You get advertisers on there. You can make a boatload of money if you become at all successful at it. And you don't have to share much of the money with anyone, because it's not something where you need this massive team. You need a couple of people to help with the production, maybe somebody for sales and marketing. and then you're good. You know,
Yep.
you could probably run a high-end podcast with maybe a team of 5 to 10 people, and that's that. And then all that money is coming in is mostly yours. So
Pretty much. And,
you know,
and Larry, his podcast only had 4 people doing all the film, all the stuff, only 4 people.
so yeah, I mean, it's just it has gotten infinitely easier for people to reach their audiences without having to be dependent on, you know, studios and networks and terrestrial broadcasts and all the other stuff. You can just go straight to the people. And I mean, it's funny because it seems like, as you would think you would think that it would detract stuff, that would make stuff smaller in a sense, but it has just caused people to watch more and more and more. And so, you know, some people would think, well, if he's not on TV, he's going to find maybe a small audience somewhere else. But you may go somewhere else and find your audience is just as big, or you may go somewhere else and find, I don't need an audience that's 50 million strong every morning, because 5 million makes me more money because I don't have to share it with everyone. You know,
and plus, Larry, he got the podcast. I mean, he's got the podcast that he also does YouTube on. He's got those 2 things, and he gets millions of views on that. And we both know how much money is involved when you get millions of views a week on your YouTube. You know, so yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen,
good for him, man. Good for him.
Good for him. We'll follow that brother. I'll keep you abreast of him, and hopefully, you know, I might get up on that Club Shay Shay and make some things happen.